Hi guys, so I just want to explain what you just saw. I did a very fast teardown of a laptop that was kindly donated to my project. What I have from the laptop is I have a motherboard. I've got the main circuit board for running the monitor. I've got a mouse pad, or the back of the mouse pad. I've got a couple of memory sticks. I've also got here, which is a Wi-Fi. I've got a small board here with a couple of USB, well, a USB and a jack. This is a connector between the motherboard and the VDU. I've also got the connector pin for the hard drive, which is here. It's a standard laptop hard drive. And of course I've got the DVD-ROM. Sometimes you also get these called ribbon cables, and the ribbon cables have also got a little bit of gold on them as well. So this is basically what I've taken from the laptop that is of any sort of value to the project. Okay, all of these things have some form of gold on them. When I take the circuit board off of here, you can see the fingers on the circuit board, and at the other side of the circuit board there's going to be small IC chips, something very similar to what you find on the RAM sticks. Okay, so there's some value to this. Of course I will destroy the hard drive in case there's any data on there, and I'll put it beyond any use for the security of the donor. On the motherboard itself, I've got some things that can be used. I've got all the pins in the RAM slots. I've got the contacts on the battery housing. Of course I've got the USBs and HDMI and Ethernet connectors, all which have got gold pins on them. The power terminal for going into the battery is gold plated. What else do I have? Yeah, some of the ports here. This one's got gold plated wires on it as well. So laptop motherboards are not really quite as valuable as PC motherboards, but they still have some recoverable items on them. The RAM sticks themselves, as you can see, the fingers on the RAM sticks are gold plated. There's also going to be golden bonding wires inside the IC chips which are attached to it. These have got to be incinerated to recover the IC chips, but there is still plenty gold in there. The mouse pads are quite surprising. This one took me by surprise, because in behind this green solder mask is a complete sheet of gold plate. Very similar to this one I have here. This one was taken out of another laptop. As you can see, completely one side is gold plate, and that's basically what's under here. The hard drive connector, I don't know if you can see inside there, there's some gold pins in there I can recover, as well as the connector here is gold plated. And actually inside the DVD-ROM, again you've got something very similar to this, same kind of connector, and there'll be a couple of ribbon wires in here as well that I can use. Now, depending on who makes the DVD-ROMs, sometimes there's a couple of gold plates inside where the lens is, but if it's a really good one, some of them are just quite cheap, but they don't have that, so I have to open these up and find out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly just open up the hard drive just to let you see what's going on there. Now I'll have to take off this little sleeve first. This is a very time-consuming job, but it's for a worthwhile purpose. one thing you'll find about any e-waste scrapper is the nightmare of taking out all the screws. In fact, this part of the process is the most time consuming. Once I get to the point where I'm actually processing the precious metals, once I start breaking it down and recovering the processed metals from inside, then that process doesn't take quite so long. This is by far the most time consuming part, but it's worth it. Again, depending on the manufacturer of the hard drive, some of them like to make it very, very tricky indeed to get in and do exactly what I'm trying to do, and they give you all sorts of different screw heads to contend with. But thankfully I've got this, an electronic engineer's screw set, and that will make my life so much easier when it comes to opening up these things. One of my better purchases. And now what I can do, if I take this off, you can see that I have all the gold pins inside here, and I've also got these IC chips here, and these IC chips all contain bonding wires, and you've got a contact point here again which is gold plated. So there is value for this. Okay. Actually, on the hard drive body itself, you've got the main contacts here. So normally what I do is I just take my knife and I can just strip that off, and I've got the gold plating on here. And this is where I keep all my ribbon wires. All these ribbon wires which have got gold parts on them, I trim them down and I keep them, and eventually when you have enough you can recover all the gold. See, there's one's got particularly nice gold on it. So these will take time. Now, when it comes to the hard drive itself, there's a couple of ways I can do this. The hard drive, I can use my security screws and I can open it up, or this part here, if I crack open this little seal, what you'll find is you've got direct access to the face of the disc, and then what I do is I just work the disc like this, and it makes it absolutely unreadable. No one will ever be able to find any data on this disc whatsoever. But what I will do is I'll open it up anyway. So if I go to my electrical engineer's screwdriver set, I've got some bits that I already have looked out. This one, for example, will that one fit? Nope, that one's too small. Next size up. There we go. Now, this is what's inside. Here's your reader, which swings backwards and forwards and reads the disc. If I just should be able to pop that out. And these are the discs which are inside. And what I can do is, I'm not going to shatter it here because it will shatter into a million pieces all over my workbench. I'll just take this into a bag and I'll break it inside a bag. so that it can't be read, it will just shatter it. Okay, and then the hard drives themselves, not the hard drives, the DVD drives. I'll change my pen over. So inside here, inside the drive, sometimes there's some gold in behind the lens here, but I don't think there's going to be on this one. But what I'm looking for is the ribbon. And the ribbon wire has got gold on it, so I'll have some of that. And of course I've got the tiny little circuit card here that's got the connector on it. And I'll take the connector off of that. Now, what I also do with this particular thing, the aluminium that comes from this is all totally recyclable, and when I build up enough, it's not just the casings from the discs, it's also things like extruded aluminium heat sinks from the PCs. These are all aluminium that can be recycled. Right, and then what I do with my ribbon cables, I'll just trim off these ends. And that'll be for processing for another day. So guys, this was a teardown of a laptop. It's not a modern laptop, it's a few years old, but it still has some gold bearing parts in it. Very newer laptops tend to have less gold in them. Manufacturers have gotten a bit clever regarding that, but there's still parts that can be harvested from them. So all of these things, eventually I will take all the chips off of here. I'll take the fingers off and I'll process the fingers. You can see in here I've got these are all fingers from circuit cards and from hard drives and from RAM fingers as well. So I'm saving these up. I'm also saving up lots of chips. All corner BGAs, IC chips, these all contain gold bonding wires, so I'm saving up lots of them. I also, these connectors and USBs all contain, these are all my gold plated pins. Separate all these out, and as you can see I've got some boxes of that already. Here are some miscellaneous items that have gold plating on them. What I intend to do with them is I intend to put them through a stripping cell that will strip the gold plate off, makes it a lot easier to work with. There's my ribbon wires. Here are all my my Wi-Fi cards. Again, they've got gold plating on them and gold fingers, and I've got more in a box right here. These I get from laptops and PCs. These are the main chips that come with the PCs. As you can see here, they all have gold pins on them. They've also got these things called MLCCs on them as well. You can get silver from those. So again, I'm saving these up. You also get other, on more modern computers, you have these flat chips. They've just got the gold dots on them, but it's still gold. They can still be recovered. On the actual boards themselves, some of the more modern boards, you've got these which house these chips, because they've got to make contact with something, and they sit in there like this, and all these pins inside these housings again are all gold plated. I also have these things, transistors. Transistors contain gold and silver, covering those. And of course here I have, these are crystals that you find on the circuit boards. Also these things, these are called tantalum capacitors. They contain tantalum, which is a very rare earth metal. And again, once I have enough of those, I can get those processed. So I've got lots of things that I have. With your kind donations, I'm pulling these things out. I'm in the process of arranging to build my lab. Once I get my lab built and I've got all my safety features in place, then all these things can start being processed and I can start pulling the metals from it. So Ellen, thank you very much for all your donations, all your help and all your support. I'm going to be continuing this project for as long as I possibly can to try and make some nice money for charity. Thanks again, guys.